You had a great. We're alive another day. In beautiful Southern California, and wherever you're listening to us, hope you're having great weather. And let's see, what did I do this last week? Thursday, I drove to Fresno for 4.5 hours to drive to Fresno, and I did a show for a pastor's Christmas party for the Southern Baptist, and it was wonderful. We had about 100, and they heckled me. I've never had pastors heckle me. I was being heckled by pastor, and what do you do? Like if I'm in a club and someone heckles me, you know how to shut him off. It's very easy. But in a Christian setting where I'm used to perform a lot, but some pastors heckle me, so I have to put them in their places. I mean, I mean, it's not like you're not in like a gospel church where you're okay. You're used to it. If I'm in a gospel church, then I'm okay with that. But pastors would heckle me, and then the next day I did a church in Fresno as well, and drove back. And Saturday, this is what I did Saturday. I took my 12-year-old because that's the only vulture left in the nest, and I took her to this place in Paris, not Paris, France, Paris, California, and it's called the Sky Zone, where like you can parachute. It's a simulator of a parachute, and I said let's do it, and it was way more than we should have expected to pay, but it's not. They don't leave you there. They train you to take a class, and they made it look so serious, like you're gonna lose your life. And I'm like, wait, I have an HMO. Should I do this? Well, you already paid for it, so you do. So what happened is they put you, but then they put a guy with you that's always grabbing you the whole time. I'm like, this is not fun. But anyway, at the end, it was fun. For $15 more, they took us higher up in the air, and it was fun. But for the real price, it was okay. Do Aretha Franklin. I said, what do you need? She goes, I need a pink Cadillac. So I ran to Home Depot and I had to build a pink Cadillac, which I managed about 20 minutes before coming here. I finished the pink Cadillac so she can stand there and talk about Aretha Franklin. But anyway, we had a great time. Then yesterday I did an event for a wonderful lady named Tina Conklin. And what she does, she's a psychologist. She's been on what do you call it? The Wives of Orange County, the Housewives of Orange County, and she's a therapist and a counselor, and she deals with marriages that's already almost done. Like there's no hope for it. That's when she meets these people and help them out. It was a great night. I was there. Did comedy. Anyway, I can't wait to. Okay, this guy. I'm gonna introduce him officially, but I want to tell you. A lot of people been to our crusade events, our stadium events, our arena events, and there's nobody who's easier to work with and can get the crowds going. And it's so funny right up front, like Comedian Cizzle C. I mean, I love working with this man every chance I can because he's easy. He doesn't give you he doesn't ask how much. He doesn't ask how much time. He doesn't ask where. Where he's like, I'm in. Sign me up. I'm gonna do it. And that's what I love to do. But Cizzle C is a prince of clean comedy. Is the face of clean comedy, cleaning up one stage at a time. His mission is to bring guilt-free, side-splitting laughter, 100% of the time. Clean, fun entertainment for the whole family, non-stop, fast-paced laughter, comedy spoofs and skits. He does all that. This animated and ridiculously funny comedian is anointed to make you laugh till it hurts. His witty observational style of comedy has a great message of faith, hope, and love. Also, he had the privilege of running his own clean comedy club. His latest project, Don't Be So Easily Offended, keeps his audience laughing and grasping in astonishment. It's available online on iTunes, Spotify, and Amazon. Not just your typical stand up comedian, he's a life coach and a motivation speaker. Welcome, Cizzle.
Thank you.
And your lovely wife, Anita Ray. How are you?
Thank you.
That was a lot.
Okay, let's start up front. You know, this is
Yeah.
a podcast that is real.
Yes.
We don't let. Okay, would you like to refer to you as an African American or black?
Black man. I'm a
Thank
black
you.
man.
See,
yeah.
all my neighbors the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said, Naz, don't call me. I'm black.
We just went over this with my neighbor. I told her, I said, I think that's almost more offensive to say African American than to say black guy.
Right. Have you ever been to Africa?
No.
Okay.
Not yet.
Yeah, I mean, my daughter was telling me that. I said, "What if someone is a black person from Britain? What do you call them? African American, British,
British American.
African British."
I don't know.
I don't know, but
it's a black guy from Britain.
it's about love. That's what I feel.
Yeah.
I feel, you know what? It's about love. When you love someone, it doesn't matter what they call him. My neighbor Tony, he's black.
Yeah.
If I call him African American, he get mad.
Yeah.
You know, like the other day, I went to borrow a screwdriver from him. He goes, "What are you making a bomb again?"
Right.
I'm like, "You'll be the first to know in 10, 9, 8, 7."
That's hilarious.
So we play games, and he called. You know, the other day I got him back. Or what do you call it? The Jehovah's Witnesses came to my door, and for the first time I opened the door because I have the ring now. You should have the ring.
Oh, hilarious. Yeah.
Oh, the ring is good because your kids cannot lie to you. When did you get home?
Yeah, you know.
11. Oh, that's not the ring.
Go right to the top.
Tater tell her. But anyway, so the Jehovah's Witnesses come. I opened the door. I said, "I'm so glad you're here." My neighbor Tony was asking me. He wants some faith in his life, and he's hard of hearing. So get.
Coming up.
Yep, that's what I was gonna say.
I have to say, you're one of the most supportive wives that on the scene. Like, I know every comedian who's really working has a Christian mostly. He has a supportive wife. My wife is more, but you're the one that's on the scene. My wife has nothing to do. If I tell her to go on stage, she'll be a widow.
Right.
She will be a
She'll
widow.
be a widow.
I will not bring her stage. But you're always there. You've always supported him. I know you sometimes use the title his manager, but more. It's more than that. You're there.
That's why we call her the wife-iger.
The wife is her.
Yeah, 'cause
and
she's
she's
like-
excited to be there.
Yeah.
I was at your what do you call it, the comedy lounge? Where's that at?
At Anita Ray's Comedy Lounge in Rialto.
In Rialto.
Yeah.
That's every Friday.
Every
right?
Friday, 214 North Palm Avenue, Rialto.
And we'll push that.
Yes.
But we want to, you were there and you were handling the tickets and you were handling the show and the comedians.
Yeah, hands-on.
You cannot do what you do without her.
No, that's why I always try to convince her all the time. I have to have her on the team.
And
it's so important.
How many kids do you have?
We have 2 boys.
2 boys. How
Yes.
old?
19 and 16.
Oh.
Yeah, well, actually, young mans now. Young men.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's a lot of. They're easy. Boys are easy.
Yeah.
Oh, girls are.
They're amazing because they can be rent helpers, is what I call them.
Yeah.
Rent helpers, they help you with the rent. The daughters, you don't make your daughters
they
pay
have
rent.
nails.
Yeah, you don't make them
I
pay
can't carry that, Dad. I have nails.
Yeah.
Who paid for your nails? Me. Okay. Dad, can I get like $20 to go do my nails? No, because if you do your nails, you can't help me.
There you go, that part.
But where were you born, Cizzle?
I was born in Glendora, California.
Oh, man, close.
But I guess I was born there, but like raised in Monrovia.
In Monrovia.
Yeah, Monrovia, California. I think I just went to that hospital in Glendora. I don't know how that happened, but I still need to find that story out. I just know that my mom said, you were born in Glendora. And I was raised in Monrovia and then came out to Rialto. And then I came into Rialto in like middle school.
Okay.
Yeah.
Single mom, family, dad was there?
Mom and dad was both together.
I met your dad.
You met my dad.
Yes.
And they're still together today. Still together to this day. They've been together now. How long?
Well, they've been married.
Did you come to know Christ?
I had a whooping when I was about.
That can do it.
That's all the answers for all the black kids when we were younger. We came to know him through the belt. No, I was young. I was just young. I was born in church. You know, my mom and dad was already in the church, and it was something I was born into. I didn't even know nothing else but church. You know, I wasn't even old enough to realize that all I did was church until like it was too late. So I was like, I've been in church my whole life. And you know a funny story? I told my wife this, like I want to say, because I started playing drums in church too, right? So up until age, I want to say like 25 or 28, I've never missed more than one. Like, you know how people miss services?
Yeah.
I've never missed 2 Sundays in a row. Because I was
Amazing.
like, that's how much church I was going to. Like, literally never missed. Like, you know how people be sick? I still go to church when I'm sick. Like, you can't, there's no, like, you're sick, come to church, get healed. You know, it wasn't stay home and get better. That doesn't make sense.
And till what age? Till your 20s?
Till I was aged, the first time I ever missed more than 2 services was, I think I want to be like maybe 28 or something like that. Because I started playing drums and stuff, so that was my job
You
too.
had to be.
So I had to be there every Sunday for that.
Yeah.
So I mean, how you gonna miss church if you get paid to go? That was the
Oh,
thing.
you got paid to go to
Yeah,
church?
I played drums. That was my career. That church was paying me like $1,500 just to play the drums every Sunday. A month. And I just have to play one service, no rehearsals. They just give me CDs and I come to church and play.
Huh.
That was amazing.
How big was the church?
It was an AME church. It was maybe like, we had 2 services and maybe like, I would say each service maybe had maybe 100 people in the service each
That's
time.
it?
That's
and
it.
they paid you $1,500?
Yeah. We got to remember, AME is old money. They got long, old money. You know, This is like years. This church was over almost like 100 years old.
Oh.
Yeah, this church has been paid off like 10, 20 times over. They got long bread. You know what I mean?
Oh, old money.
So, yeah, it's that old money.
I didn't know churches have
they
old
got
money.
old. That's what they call it, old money. Doc. That's when you like, we don't have money for this, and all of a sudden there's a whole new something, and it's like we didn't raise that much for the parking lot. You know what I mean? But it's like that's that old money coming in.
And
Yeah.
Anita, where were you born?
San Bernardino, California.
Yes.
Born and raised in San Bernardino. I had family members that were called CME Christians. They would go to church for Christmas, Mother's Day, and Easter.
Mother's Day.
And they would play Mahalia Jackson on Sunday.
Yes.
You know, they really brought me in. So
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful. Now, what is the difference? Here's my thing about, a lot of the people I met, not a lot. I can't say a lot. The comedians, the black comedians that I worked with in the past, most of them, it's like on Sunday you're at church.
Right.
You pray, you read the Bible, you believe in Jesus, but then you go to the club and you start cussing the rest of the week.
Right.
And you're doing things that is completely contradictory.
Naz? I to this day I still don't understand it. Like I don't get it either. I don't judge them, but I don't understand it. And they'll tell me like, "Oh, I'm a Christian too. I'm a Christian. And I don't judge them. I don't knock them or anything like that. Because, I book them. At my room, I get the comedians. Because that's kind of our ministry is to try to show them that there's a way to do it clean.
Right.
But a lot of them say, well, there ain't no room or we don't make no money doing it. So try to give them an avenue to show them that you can do it clean. Because some of them really don't know that you can do it clean.
Right.
Until they see it. They're like, oh, they really can do it that way. But, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that lifestyle. I mean, I have really good friends that I love and they're really good comedians, but, like, they are dirty. But they love God. They say they love God, but they like this is just what they do. It's just they're so I don't judge them. I'm like it's that thing, Naz. I'm just like I don't know.
I'm not saying judging. It's just surprising to me. It's like wait a minute. Where's whatever pure, whatever true, and is God like when you're at church and you're hearing the gospel and isn't something changing in your life that makes you don't want to say that?
Well, the thing is, what I hear a lot of times too is what they're saying is like it's like acting. It's like entertainment. It's not me per se. It's almost like how what was her name from Harlem Nights? One of the comedians, I forget her name. Delarice. Delarice.
Yeah.
She's a pastor, but if you look on Harlem Nights, she cursed all throughout that movie. Like it was nothing. It was rated R. She cursed a lot, but she's a pastor.
Huh? But she said she's removed from the character.
Yeah, it's because it's like I'm not that. This is acting. I'm not. This is not who I am. In the movie to make it realistic. I'm not gonna be like, get down, you jive, turkey, to make it not cursing.
Yeah.
You're gonna say what's in today's time. You're gonna curse and to make it believable is what they say. So it's like, it's almost like, I don't know. It's almost like if it's gonna glorify or benefit, does it work or?
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
I don't understand it, but I've
That's
you
a good
know.
question though. I still don't get it. That's why I just like I listen to it, and it's one of those things. I guess we just gotta wait to get to heaven type of thing, because
Right.
it's like I wonder it. I'm like, do you feel bad? Do you feel convicted that you talk like that? But in their mind, if I think about it how they think about it, it makes sense because they have separated themselves from. It's like I'm Cizzle C, the comedian, but then the real person is Curtis. So if I say something as Cizzle C that's this way, I can get away with it because it's not me as who I am.
And that's what I love about you. You're not like that. You're always clean.
Yeah.
You can count on you being clean. And
Yes.
I know there's only several comics that I work with. I know Michael Jr.,
Mm-hmm.
Bone Hampton, Anthony Griffith,
Yeah.
and maybe a couple more that are clean,
Pomerelli,
that
yeah.
you don't have to worry. So sometimes when we do events and I need a comedian, I go, hey, I'd love. He goes, yeah, I'm a Christian. I go to church and all that. I was like, no, I want to know what are you because
What
you're not
kind,
ever.
yeah.
So you're unique in what you do.
Thank you,
There's
thank
not many comedians like you. Now, did you start in churches or did you start in clubs?
Well, my first show I ever did was in high school. I started right in high school. You know how they have the senior day when all the seniors come
Yes.
together and stuff like that? That was like a dare. Like, I dare you to get on stage and make people laugh, whatever. So I did it. Actually, I'll rewind. The first time I ever did comedy, we had a TV network at the high school. It was an elective, and I was taking that as a class. I was just doing what I thought was comedy at the time. What I thought. But and I made them laugh in the little classroom. So then they got out and said, well, why don't you do it for senior day? So I was like, bet I'll do it. I'm not scared. They always want to challenge me. I'll do it. I'm up for it. So when I did it, my friend was like, are you scared? I was like, no, I'm going to do it. I don't care. So I just remember getting up there and I just got on stage. And I remember the first joke I told, I never forget.
What was it?
This is the reason why I do clean comedy too. I'm going to tell you why. The thing is, I got on stage and I never forget the first joke I told. I said, I don't know. No, I said, how did I say it? I said, how many of you in here have a teacher with bad breath? And then everybody was like clapping and laughing or whatever. I said, well, I'm not going to say my teacher's name because I don't want Mr. Willis to get mad. And the whole class, everybody in school went crazy, right? And because everybody knew Mr. Willis had bad breath, so they were laughing and going crazy. So then after the show was over, right? I thought I did come like, oh, they were going in. So I'm like, okay, bet this is how I need to do. I need to roast people. This is what I'm thinking my comedy is going to be like what I see the other black comedians doing on Def Jams and other things like that. So next thing you know, I go to the class that I always go to, which is the yearbook class, and I always go pick up my best friend at the time, Shakia, and we always go walking around the class. So this day, I go into the class, right? Long story short, I'm sitting in there getting ready to go get my donut because she always has donuts in this class.
Yeah.
The teacher looks over, she says, put that donut down. Put it down right now. I was like, what's the matter? She said, I heard what you said about my husband. I heard what you said about my husband. I was like, oh, it was a joke. I'm just playing. No, get out of here with those jokes. Get out of here with those. You don't joke like that. That's the worst thing to ever do.
Wow.
Then that's when I realized. I was like, wow, the power of saying something you think you're joking, and if it offends somebody. I was always the guy clowning. I never understood how much it can really hurt somebody with what you say. And I was just being funny. I never knew. So it made me, once I start seeing the effect of people and how people come to me afterwards, like after school, Cizzle, you funny, but can you not talk about me no more in front of people? I'm like, I'm just joking. Can you not do that? So it started making me see things like, man, I want to be funny, but I don't want to hurt people's feelings. I just want to be funny.
Right.
So then that's what made me like, okay, I'm going to go into clean comedy. Like, that's what I want to do. I don't want to do Christian comedy. I didn't want to do church comedy because then I couldn't do schools and other events. If I say I'm a Christian comedian, then they put me in a box. And they say I can't do this, I can't do that. But if I say I'm a clean comedian who's a Christian, you can't block me out because you can't judge me on my religion, but my craft and what I do is clean comedy. So if I do clean comedy, I can take it everywhere. I'm not just stuck in the church. I can go with you over there. I have done that. My wife will tell you, and it's a true story. She already know where I'm going.
I know where you're
You
going.
already know I'm going.
Tell
with
me.
this. Tell me about the story. She booked us at an event, and we thought it was a regular show because one of the comedians was just a regular show. And tell her what at the strip club. It was actually
a strip club.
It was a strip club, Naz.
Oh, I've done strip clubs before I was a believer.
But I didn't know. No, I'm believing. Okay,
You're believing.
I'm believing in Jesus. Hear me?
Okay.
And I did not know that it was a strip club because my friend was supposed. That goes back to that thing with the clean comedians.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm thinking he's a clean comic. he's gonna do a show. It's just, he said, no, it's not like that. It used to be back in the day, whatever. We get there and ask everything about it. I said, I'm glad I brought my wife with me. So that was a blessing to travel with her. Because I could have been in all kind of trouble. You come home with glitter on your face, how you explain that? You can't explain, how do you explain glitter?
I did a kids show. I was the fairy.
The magic. I was the fairy.
I was the fairy.
But that was just a great, but it's just a blessing to be able
Wait,
to
I want to
these
hear
places.
about it.
Go ahead,
because
talk to me.
I've done, before I became a Christian, I've done, I was gung ho for any show, any minute they give me. So I was going between the dancers, and the reason I loved it is because nobody wanted to see me. They just didn't want me. They want the next dancer.
Right.
So that was a big challenge. I would just hit him harder
Right.
and get him to laugh to the
Right.
point I want him to say, well, we don't want to see the next dancer.
We wanna
That
see
never
you.
worked. But so tell me about it. What was your experience? You booked him.
Well, I mean, he tried to assure us that it wasn't no longer a strip club. I mean, only thing it was missing was the pole. I mean, the ladies, they were still dressed,
Provocative.
yes, and things hanging out of places that were supposed to be tucked away.
Right.
And I'm just trying to look cute and just smile like, okay. Like, and then, we brought, she asked if we want to buy something to drink. So his favorite drink is, what do you call it? Shirley Temple. Sprite with some cherry stuff. So he only had $100 bill on him. He pays the lady. She comes back with 97 ones as his change. Like single bills. Like, I think she wants you to tip her. Like, okay, get this over and let's go.
Now, to be clear, the reason why I had $100, I don't want people to think I was balling, is just because we just went to payday loan and I had they give you 200s and a 50 and a 5 for 255. That's what it was. I wasn't balling yet.
They paid you in dollar bills.
Yeah, they
Ew.
all
I wouldn't
the
touch
kickback.
them. I'm
no.
like, no.
Yeah.
97 ones? What you gonna do with 97 ones, Nazareth? That's 97 ones. You already know what they trying to do. Tips for a soda. Come on now.
That's funny. So, what is it like being a comedian's wife? I know there's times where, and I said this before on the show, we live on hope as comedians. We're always hoping for the next thing. And that hope keeps us going in the dry calendar times. But sometimes it's hard because we become salespeople that trying to sell our wives on the same hope.
Wow, that's good.
And
man.
after a while, they don't buy it anymore as much. Show me the shows. Show me the money. I have to raise the kids. I have to pay for. What? Tell me your
That's a
experience.
good question, Nazareth.
Well, since I have been with him, I want to say since the beginning of his start of wanting to do this full time and professionally, I was young. So he could sell me anything like, okay, yeah, I believe in you. Let's go. So when he say, we're going to go travel and go do this show and, they're going to pay us this, I just would say, okay. But now that it's more serious and this is his full-time job and we're not clocking the clock. We don't have a 9 to 5. So this is all that we're depending on. So it's serious. This is a serious, funny business. Like everything, rides on what we do. So we don't have a plan B or a C or a D.
Right.
So you just got to believe in it. And he's so passionate about what he does. I mean, there's times where it's like, the struggles are real, but it's like you realize there is nothing else. And with him being so passionate, you just got to believe it. And then I see how people respond to him. Like wherever he go, whatever type of show it is, they just love him. And I'm like, it has to be something about this guy. Like, keep pushing.
You know what? Him as your husband struggling to get gigs is a much better husband than someone who has a steady job that he's not very happy with.
Right.
Because he comes home and the only stress he brings maybe is financial. And financial stress is easy. People think, you know what? I will take financial stress anytime over my kids being sick.
Right, yeah.
Or having marriage issues, or having other problems, because financial, we can handle financial, and being a comedian, you always, I know I make, I make good money now, but I mean, I've had struggles, and you still sometimes, and that even in the beginning days when you didn't have a lot of money, a lot of shows and stuff, and that panic mode. That stays with you. And God said, "Wait a minute, why are you stressing over?"
Right.
I'm taking care of you, but I would take, my wife would take me anytime as a comedian who's struggling than as an accountant who's making a lot of money or something else.
That's
so, yeah, but it just says how wonderful you are as a person. Because not any woman would take that.
Yeah, no,
I know that.
And she deals
like,
with, and I'm a headache sometimes. I'm gonna keep it real, because like you're talking about that, it gets stressful a lot of times, and you're trying to, we see as a comedian, we see the end because we know what we're trying to project, and it's hard to try to project the same picture that's in our mind to our wives so that they can see the same vision and be on the same boat. And sometimes it gets like that. We've been having up and downs here and there. Just recently, it's been like struggles here and there because it's just a matter of it gets tired, and sometimes and she gets burnt out. And I have to understand, and I know I'm a lot to handle, and I have to humble and be honest with myself. And I say, babe, I'm sorry, because I know I can be a lot. Because I'm a thinker. We're comedians. We're always, it never turns off. It seems like you go to sleep with an idea and wake up with 10, and then you go back to sleep with 10, and you woke up with 100. So it won't stop. You know what I mean? But at a certain point, you have to know when to pull back, if you will, and to say, okay, now it's time for husband and wife time. Let's sit down the comedy thing. And that's what she kind of got at me. Like, I feel like our life now has just been, how did you put it? It was like
business. Our business relationship is more a priority than our marriage relationship. Like, we talk about business
all the time.
All the time.
24/7. It's
all
like,
the time.
And so when she said, and I thought about it, because in my mind, I'm like, if I hurry up and get my business straight and I can get to this level and I'm successsul, I can take care of my family, I can get it all together, I can do all this. What I mean?
make it up for you. I will do all that. But then you have to know, like, you're in a buffet and she's feeding you. Mm-hmm. But at one point you got to stop. Well, aren't you going to eat?
Right.
Because you're on this journey with me.
Right.
There's no other journey for you. This is your journey with me.
Right.
And so sometimes you got to take like couple days off, and it doesn't have to be expensive, but you promise that you will not talk business.
Right.
For 2 days, you'll not talk business, and minimum talking about the kids.
Minimum talking about the
kids. Because that's what happened. If you're not talking business, you're talking
about
kids.
The kids. Yeah, and that's what we said. It's like I'm either doing that. We're either talking about the business all the time, or we're dealing with the relationship or what's going on with the children. It's like the same all the time.
But there's a lot more to talk about.
There is, and I was saying there is.
You get to know more about yourself. That talking to her about, what do you think? How do you feel? And it's really interesting because this is a marriage. It's not just, okay, your job is to make my career, help me till I get to where I want, and then I will bless you.
Right.
Well, my wife, I know all of our wives, like, we're waiting for that big moment, for that big break.
Right.
And then it gets frustrating. Like, it's been 20 years. It's been 20, 30 years. Where's the big break?
Yeah.
But when they're seeing the impact you're having on people, I mean, that's, every time someone go, I need Jesus because of Cizzle, you get the points in heaven. Yeah. God is giving you the points for it. Yeah. You're giving points, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's part of your ministry. The ministry is called, for example, Nazareth or Laughter for All. But Maha is half of that. Same with Cizzle C. Mm-hmm. You're half of that. Even without being a manager, without even booking him, without doing all that.
Right.
You're half of that. And it's really interesting how it's so, what? Comedians' wives, my hat off to you. What is it like? Do you perform at white churches?
I perform at all churches. I perform white churches, Hispanic churches. I'll perform anywhere, even as long as they have an interpreter. If I can't speak the language, I will do it. I will do it. I'm not playing. I will perform anywhere. I mean, just wherever they will allow me to get on the mic. It's that I'm at that place right now. I'm hoping to be at the point where I can be like, oh, I'm too busy for everything. I can't.
Well, you don't want to.
I don't know, but
you don't want to be too. Say I'm too busy, but you have to think about it. Like sometimes you need to get to a point where you say, you know what, I need to get back with you. Are you available? I think I am, but I need to get back with you.
Well, I'm at that level now a little bit more versus before. So I am kind of like, because my calendar is feeling faster now than it used to.
Good.
And it's crazy. It seemed like, and I was doing research, and I was like, man, I feel like I've been doing this game because, we just celebrated 21 years in comedy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, you start trying to figure out where am I supposed to be because there's no like barometer or nothing to say.
Nobody came before us that told us we're the pioneers of Christian comedy,
right?
Or or clean comedy.
Yeah, there's no thing to say. Oh, if you doing this, you've made it as a clean comedian. You need to have a movie and you need to do this. They don't say that for clean comedians. Like in the secular world, it's like once you get your numbers up or you do this, then you've arrived. You got the car, you got the fame.
But that used to be. It used to be if you're a comedian in the world, it doesn't have to be Christian or not or clean. Uh-huh. If you do Carson or Leno or Letterman, or you
Then
do the
you've
three.
arrived.
Then they saw you, you become famous, you end up doing Vegas and all that, and the career is planned for you. Seinfeld and all these guys been through that.
Right.
Well, now there's 500 TV networks and there's a million YouTube, so you can't even wait. I mean, you can do Ellen or whatever show that's big right now, and
Right.
nobody knows who you are. But if you do your own, you draw your own people on YouTube or on social media, that's
Yeah.
your audience.
Build your own brand.
And there's people who are making millions of dollars, filling up arenas right now, and we don't know who they are.
That's true.
We don't know their name, but they got their followers.
That's true.
And
And
that's-
that's what I told her we're working on now, because we had a meeting with Netflix, like, I want to say a couple months back. And some of their representatives from Netflix. And they were looking at my content, looking at the stuff. And they were like, man, you got some good stuff. And we love what you're doing, yada, yada, yada. Then they go to pull up the social media. And they're like, what's your numbers look like? And it's like, if your numbers are not in the hundred thousands, they're not even looking at you.
they don't, because they need you to promote them too.
Yeah, it's like the game changed back in the day when if you were really good, an agent saw you, like you said, you go on to the movies and you travel and you go to Vegas and that's the thing. But the game changed now. It's all about the numbers. If you have the social media, they don't even care if you're funny or not. If people are willing to come see you, that's all that matters is the ticket sales.
And
if
you know
can sell
that's
tickets,
true.
that's all that
you,
matters.
You watch some comics and you go, they're not even funny, but the numbers are up. So I was talking to a manager, one of the big comedians, manager, and he said, Nazareth, first thing we do is, we watch some of your video. It's funny. We look at the numbers. And if your numbers are not up, that means you're not doing that great. That's in their mind. So that's what we do. So have you noticed any racism in the church? Anybody?
You know what I've noticed? I've noticed more religion, if I was to say, like, religion versus religion in church. Like where you get the Baptists versus the Church of God in Christ, or the AMEs who don't like the Pentecostal non-denominations. I would see a lot of that going on because, or you have the same organization, but just certain pastors don't get along with other pastors.
Right.
And so that was our struggle. Like when you're trying to do a comedy show and you're trying to make it in a certain city and make that city your home, and you're trying to get to connected with, because I do clean, you're trying to connect with the churches.
Right.
Well, it's hard to connect with churches who are all divided because you don't know which church is the church that could be the one you go into that will blackball you from all the other churches. Yeah. So it's like you got to walk lightly. And that's why when I go into churches, I never say what church home I'm from or wherever I go, because I don't know if this pastor don't like my pastor. I don't know if they don't get along with this one. And I'm like, you're not going to stop me from eating because y'all don't like each other. I love everybody. So if you love my comedy, I'm going to come. So I stopped mentioning the pastor I was with. That's why I was like, we're coming at Cizzle C Ministry. That's what will come like that. Because if I come under a certain umbrella, if I go Church of God in Christ, then AME might not book me. Or if I go Baptist, then the Pentecostals might not book me because they don't believe what they believe, or they don't do. So that's the part I really struggled with at the beginning and was hurting me a lot, because I'm like, in my mind, I'm going to choose God and go clean, and he going to open up all these doors, and look how many churches there are in the world. If I could just get one
1%.
church a week, I'm just like that. Like if a church is paying $100 and I just do a church every week, I'll be paid for it. That's my thinking process was. But then when I got in this game and I started seeing it, and I got spoiled, to be honest, because when I first came in, the very first show I ever did when it came to the church circuit, it was like over 1,000 people on the first show I ever did. And the first show I got on, the very first show I got on, I got a standing ovation. So it was, and I did 15 minutes on my first time ever out. I didn't know nothing about comedy, stuff like that. I was just watching what I was watching. And I was just up there having fun. I mean, like, when I watched that tape, I'm like, oh my God, I wouldn't do that ever. Like, what was I thinking? Yeah. I was calling back stuff. It was just weird, like, watching it now. But to see that, to know that God has really called me for that thing, like, I know that from all the way from back then that I was called to do something great now. But looking at trying to put stuff together and these churches don't get along, it started hurting you. Like, man, how do I, go? How do I go
Shouldn't
here?
worry about it. That's true. This is funny. Yesterday I finished my show, and there were two ladies that were at my table, and I offered to drive them home. One is Katy Perry's mom, the singer, famous singer. The other one is Joel Osteen's sister. She's visiting California, and she was at my show. Now, if I go do Joel Osteen's church,
right,
I'm going to be blackballed from a lot of churches.
Right.
Because they go, oh, how could you? Oh, how dare you? But one time I was doing a big festival with Greg Laurie from Harvest Crusade. And I go, what do you think? He goes, of course you go do it.
Right.
You go do it, we can be light. As long as you're not compromising who you are.
Right.
Churches shouldn't worry what church you attend or where you've been before or something.
Yeah, but they do. It's
And
sad
that's
to say
sad.
that, but they really do. Like seriously, I've had, and I won't even name names, but I've had pastors pull me in the office and say, "Oh, Cizzle, you doing a show over at so and so's church?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, yeah, man. We can't roll over there with your doc. I can't be with your doc on that one." And I'm like, so I'm gonna lose all. I didn't even know that. Like, I wouldn't have booked this big old venue if I would have known that. Excuse me. And it's like I didn't know that you guys didn't get along, and this one don't like this. I found out, and then when you get into the comedy world and you're doing stuff, it's like you get almost treated like a pastor, so you get the behind the scenes. So pastors will tell you the truth about each other, and you start learning stuff, and it's kind of hurtful. Like, man, I didn't know y'all didn't get along like that. I thought all Christians were all like, when you become a pastor, it's like you became this, all pastors are together. But no. The older I got, the more I realized, like, it's not like that. Like, up front, it might look like all these pastors get along. Like, I've seen it. I've done a show where, like, we're doing an appreciation service. And all these pastors are on the panel together, maybe like 20 pastors, right? And they're all laughing together, having a good time. Getting the elevator on their way up. I got 3 of the other pastors. They're talking so bad about the other pastors. You're like, what's going on here? And it's like a sad situation. So that's been my biggest struggle in this, trying to do when it came to doing churches. That's why I was like, okay, God, you got to give me something where I can make it neutral, because I need something where I can just have a building and a place. That's why we came with Anita Ray's Lounge, so that way we can bring all churches everywhere and they can just be neutral. There's no favoritism to no one, because sometimes like the number one argument if you do a fundraiser for a church, and this was the thing that hurt me. Oh my God, Nas, we do a fundraiser for a church. I'm like, I'm gonna bring like 5 churches together so we can get a big venue, right?
Right.
You bring 5 churches together. You figure each church, you guys bring like 100 people. That's 500. We'll pack out this 500 venue.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. What we'll do is we'll split the money. First question is, who's going to get the offering? That's the first question. We're like, let's do a free show. All 5 churches come together. And then it's like, okay, well, who gets the offering? After they discuss who gets the offering, now it's like, well, what church are the new members going to go to? So if you guys if 40 souls come into Christ, where are they going to go? So now it's like this pastor, they're upset because you got 20 come that time and this one only had 10. And it'd be a lot of division in the body of Christ and it's supposed to be all, you know what I mean? It's just weird to me.
Yeah.
But that's been the hardest. That's my biggest challenge when it comes to entertain, like to do the material and stuff like that. Like I was born in church, so I know church. That's what I do. I've been in church all my life. I know all churches because by playing drums, it made me versatile.
Right.
I played at the Hispanic churches. I played at the white churches. I played at the Church of God in Christ. I played at the non-denominations, which is a denomination. I don't know why they say non-denomination. That makes it a denomination.
Yeah, they're a denomination.
But anyway, so I played it and it made me well-rounded in all this stuff. So I know all these things. So I'm trying to like just be open to everybody. So that's why I told my wife, we got to get this Anita Ray's Lounge has to get off the ground. And then with us doing the Anita Ray's Lounge, it was opening up a door for us to be able to start raising funds for our after-school program that we want to implement, which is going to be called Cizzle Kids. That's going to start in January. It's a performing arts school for the youth of our community, and we're giving back to them. It's going to be free for them because we know that a lot of the children in Rialto, they don't have it like that. San Bernardino areas, that's a kind of rough area for a lot of people. They're not single homes, single mothers there, some single fathers, because we never shout out to single fathers. We always say single mothers, but there's some single fathers. So we're working with single fathers, and we're doing this program to be able to give back, and we're giving back the arts, because now what we're noticing is that a lot of the young people in 2019, TV, computer, telephone, cell phone. They don't even go outside. You remember when we were younger, going outside was like the privilege. If you couldn't go outside, you thought you were going to die.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, why? I didn't do nothing. I can go outside. But now they'll die if they go outside. Like, I just want to stay inside. What did I do wrong? So it's like the game has changed. So what we're trying to do is get them to start tapping into their abilities while they're young, learning about art while they're young. You have so many artists, young kids that are artists that can draw, but they never, ever have – the classes are not there anymore. They're taking them all out to school. Band is being taken out of elementaries. Right. When I grew up, we had band. Right. They took that out of the schools. No. So if we don't have any of this stuff, it's
so what? Tell me more, because I know there's people listening. Speaking of listener, we have a caller. So let's talk to the caller.
All right.
Hello, who's this? Hello, who's this?
One guess.
Oh, my favorite listener, Mr. Rosari. How are you?
I hope you don't mind me calling every show.
Oh, we love you when you call every show. Yes. In fact, I might have to share this with you in private, but no. I'm bringing one of our pastors with Laughter for All, and we're going to come to the Bay Area to look at different venues, and we'd love to hire you to be our guide, if you don't mind.
As the song says, baby, let me drive your car.
Well, no, we want to drive your car. Okay. What's your question for Cizzle?
My question for him is this. Besides Nazareth, who's your favorite comedian? And I'll hang up to hear your answer. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Who's my favorite comedian? That's so hard. When people ask me that,
Yeah.
because I feel like when I say my favorite, I just discounted a bunch of other people that I really love.
No, but
I never know. But I would say if I would have to choose, if they say, okay, you have to choose, I would probably say Cedric the Entertainer.
Cedric the Entertainer.
Yeah, as far as a comedian, just I love his style, like what he does, like everything he does. Now, when he goes to the left a little bit, it gets a little to the left, but I love him as a comedian. Now, favorite Christian comic, if we say favorite Christian comic other than Nazareth, I would say...
Did you see how he said other than Nazareth?
I had to slightly...
It was like I'm being polite and kind.
No, that's the truth, though, because let me tell you something. If I was to go back to my credits and we said, you seen him on TV, you seen him on JCTV, the only reason why that happened because of you. If I keep it 100, that was you open that door for me.
The Lord is opening. But you know
Yeah,
what?
I was blessed,
Every
though.
time you saw me at Laughter for Others, I was doing my 100 like hit hard. Because when I do these evangelistic events, I don't want to hit hard. Or like, I don't care what you think. I'm gonna hit you with this comedy.
Right.
I'd have to be very considerate of everybody in the stadium, or
Right,
in the
right,
audience,
right.
because so the comedy. I think when I listen to it, I go, yeah, that's not my greatest stuff, but it's fun. It's very funny.
Right.
And it kills, but so go ahead. Thank you for that. Great.
Yeah, I don't even know where we're going now. I just got
Okay, get on with it.
Your favorite Christian
Christian
comedian
comedian.
besides Nazareth.
I like.
Thank you.
I like Broderick Rice.
Okay.
You know, Broderick Rice,
he's very funny.
Very funny. Because the impersonations, my God, he's spot on. When he does an impersonation, it's like you see it. He does Bernie Mac, you see it. He does Marvin Winans, you see it. You know, he does Benny Hinn, you see it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I really love Broderick Rice. He's very, very funny. And then there's just so many. I don't even.
That's good. You gave us one.
Yeah, so-
My favorite comedian of all time. He's not a Christian, but he committed suicide a couple of years ago. His name is Richard Jenny.
Oh, okay.
And if you ever get the chance, I mean, he's not clean, so I don't recommend you go listen to him.
Right.
But, I mean, he is the master in the comedy business. Nita, you have a 19-year-old and a 15-year-old?
16.
16-year-old. Is it harder to raise a black child than in this time and age?
Well, yes.
Or it's all-
If you consider all the stuff that's happening in the world when they target black men, you consider those things. And then you want to raise them to be respectful men because they're the leader. You don't want them to fall victims of being a, manipulator, womanizer. So, yes, you have to raise them right because they're the leader. So, I would say you have to be more alert and aware. But I love them. I wouldn't trade it in for the world.
Of course.
Yeah.
And they have a good example of a dad at home,
Absolutely.
a grandpa that was home. So that's really very, very, we come from a culture, the Middle Eastern culture. And the Middle Eastern culture, you don't hear a lot of divorces because the fact that women do not complain about the abuse they get.
Right.
And I'm not being generalizing or something, but I'm
It is what it
saying
is,
so.
yeah.
So you don't hear a lot of the man just, plus the religion there forces you cannot just sleep around or and then leave the family and kids because your family will come after you, your brothers, your uncles will come after you, and but it is. I know it is harder to, just in this current situation, or it's always been very difficult for black kids to really to strive because. But you have a good example here.
Yes.
So, what is it? I know we answered this, but have you ever went to, "Hey Cizzle, I'm done with comedy. I'm done with comedy." Have you ever said that?
Meaning I'm done with...
I'm done with you doing comedy. You better go make some good money.
Probably not in those exact words, but sometimes my actions will show because, being as an artist, period, they require a lot.
Yes.
So the workload may get heavy sometime. And me not being a team, I'm just a team of one. Sometimes I will feel, overwhelmed. Like, I don't have all this talent that you think I have. I can't do this. Or, I'm like, I just can't do it. But he'll always give me these pep talks. Like, you can do it. You have been doing it. Everything you have, I need, and you could do it. So, yeah.
And I've seen you being very affectionate with your wife, even, and that's amazing.
Because it's the truth. Like what I look at is I'm just real. Some people do it for the cameras, but like for us, I really appreciate my wife and the hard work that she does, and I always try my best to show her that. That's why even when we came up with the name of the lounge, I named it after her, because Anita Ray. So I'm like, I wanted to show her that I always appreciate her because she works hard. Like I'm like, as hard as I work, you work just as hard. You're just on the other side. Our business and our ministry works because it's a 50-50 type of situation. Without her, I won't be able to work. Like literally. Like if she don't, I can't work. And without me, she can't do anything. Well, she probably gets somebody else, but they're not gonna be as good as I am.
No.
But, and work as humble as I am. but the thing is that I'm noticing that we have to have each other, and I think God designed it like that on purpose because I had other managers in the beginning. I had other managers because I already know what I want to do. I just need somebody that can do what I'm telling them to do because it's all God inspired. God is the one that gives me the lead and tell me, son, do this, go there. Call that church, go over there, go to this place. And I'm like, why am I here? Next thing you know, I'll meet somebody and they open their door and I have a show. I'm like, I would have never known a coffee shop would give me a comedy room night. I didn't think about it like that. And just by doing that, but back to what I'm saying, it's like I have to have her on the team. Like if I don't have my wife on the team, mentally I'm not right, because she's my heart and I love her. I told her it's not just about the comedy. The reason why it became like that is because this is the only thing I have to prove my love to you because I'm not doing anything else but comedy. So if I can do comedy and do it for you and show you that it's for you, then you can see it. But sometimes, like you said before, we have to take those breaks because you go to, too much and all it is just that. You know what I mean? There's no balance. And that's kind of where I had to take a break. Like, okay, I accept that. I didn't want to hear it at first, but I'm like, you know what? She's right. Because it is, when I think about like, what's the last couple things we've talked about? What's the last conversations we've talked about?
Our kids and our jobs.
And that's what it is. So now I'm like, we went to Vegas. We had 4 days there. We had fun out there for Thanksgiving. So that was a nice.
Were you performing?
No, we took off.
Oh,
that
that's
was vacation.
great.
Yeah,
see, that's great. Because whenever you're performing, like let's say I tell my wife, okay, we're going to Hawaii. I have a conference. I'm going to be performing. That's not a vacation. Because she knows, as a comedian, the day of the performance, that's a day of performance.
Right.
You eat different. You sleep different. You talk different. You think different. Everything is different. Your mind is on the show.
Right.
But if you're going for 4 days alone, you have no. That's vacation.
Yeah.
So that's great.
Yeah, we needed that. It was
what are you working on as far as comedy bit right now? What is one of the bits you're working on? Because this should be a funny thing.
Now what?
We got serious.
I know we got real serious. What I'm working on is my new DVD, new taping or whatever you want to call it.
Yes.
I want to talk about all my injuries.
Your injuries.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm going to be because when I say I have a lot of injuries, like every scar on my body, I have so many scars and injuries. So and it's a funny story behind each and every scar. This right here, I have a big old scar on this elbow right here.
Ouch.
Nasty looking scar. This is my testimony actually, but I'm gonna turn it into a joke. But what happened was I was driving on the freeway, coming back on the 10 freeway, and my car flipped over. Boom, 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 twice.
For no reason?
No, it had a reason. I'm gonna give you two. I'm gonna give you the
the tire.
insurance reason. I'm gonna give you the truth. The insurance reason was somebody came on the side of me and swagged my car. But since it's so old, I can tell the truth now because God forgave me. The truth was, I think I fell asleep. That's what I think happened. But
well, when you're asleep, this guy hit you, so you ain't lying.
So there it was. But yeah, I had that. So I have like, I used to own I was a president of a motorcycle crew.
Oh.
We had a bike crew called Vroom
You ride a
Vroom.
motorcycle?
I used to. Not anymore. My wife is not for it anymore.
I don't blame
But
her.
I was with this crew called Vroom Vroom Riders. VROOM, which stand for Victorious Riders on Our Mission. We were 7 Christian brothers coming together, and I told him, I
Who's
said,
Victoria?
huh?
Who's Victoria?
Victoria? No, victorious.
Victorious.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
I'm
was
sorry.
like, wait, what?
I'm like,
you trying to get me in
guys.
trouble now? Who's Victoria? I was like,
Right.
who is she?
That's not my middle name.
Victorious. Victorious. I'm sorry.
Victorious riders on our mission. Vroom. That was it. VROOM.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So what we were was 7 brothers together, because in a lot of the bike crews, it's always like all kind of craziness. You know, like you see
Yeah.
the bike bars and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But we all wanted to ride motorcycles and we wanted to be a part of something, but all of us had wives, except for like 2 of them, which had fiancés. So it's like, well, they ain't gonna let us go to these bars and be out here talking about we riding bikes, you know, and we ain't making no money. It's different if you say I'm doing a comedy club, come back with a check.
Right.
That's different.
Right.
But you out there just having fun, that's not gonna be okay. So what we did was God gave it to me to say, okay, put this crew together. And then what we did was we'll come together, read the Bible, and we'll pray together, and we'll talk about, you know, marital issues or men issues that we're going through. And then we get on the motorcycles and we go take a long ride. We'll go eat somewhere, or we'll take a long ride and the wives will be back cooking food for us, and then we all come back together. So it was a kind of good thing.
That's
for a while.
amazing. That's good. Now, the children's art program.
Says
If
kids.
someone is listening to now, and I know a lot of my fans and listeners are very generous and they love to help. What's the first step they can do?
Well, they can go on to tell them what they can
Yes.
do.
Well, I mean, we can make it simplistic. Cash App, if you want to send any type of donations via Cash App.
To
Anita Ray Entertainment. That's NITARAE Entertainment, and hopefully you can spell that. That's ENTERTAINMENT.
Anita Ray Entertainment, you can do that. What if they want to know more about it? Is there something on the
CizzleC.com,
website?
they can go-
CizzleC.com.
CIZZLEC. That's CIZZLEC.com.
And they can find out more about it, and they can book you through that website.
Yeah, you can book me. If you just Google Cizzle C, all my information will come up.
People, if you want a high energy show, if you're not sure your audience is like, oh, I have a tough audience that doesn't laugh easily, this is a man to get. And it's clean, it's wonderful, it's multicultural, and you're going to love him. You will not be disappointed. I give you that. Well, I just want to thank you guys so much. We have another listener. Oh, another caller.
Okay.
Let's take that. Wow. Go ahead. Hello. This is Nazareth. Who's this?
Hi. Hi, my name is DJ RJ from Moreno Valley.
Hi, DJ RJ from Moreno Valley. What's your questions for Cizzle?
My question is for Cizzle C. And Cizzle C, you know me with Shelly, Michelle.
Hey, what's going on,
Anita
doctor?
Ray.
How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing just fine. The question for you would be, what is your favorite audience? Either a small, up-close audience or a more bigger, broader audience?
Ooh, that's a great
good
question.
question.
Man, I've never been asked that. Okay. Well, it depends on the situation. If it's based on the pay and it's based on the numbers, I like the bigger crowd because I'm going to get paid more. But if it's based on the funny, I really like those intimate crowds for me because I can really, you know, I can feel if they're laughing or not. I can kind of gauge where I need to go with the show. But when it's so big, you know, you kind of just hear a roar. You don't know really if that was the one or not until like you go to the tape. But when it's small and up close, you can feel if they laughing or not. You know if that joke is hitting from the beginning of the room to the end of the room.
That's true. You know, a couple hundred people in a room, in a tight room.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the best
It's-
because you
man.
can leave your material when you want and just go with
Right
100.
there. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you for your call, brother.
I agree with you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Appreciate it. Thank you
And more
so much.
positive to you, Steve.
Thank you, brother. I
All right.
appreciate you.
Then God bless you. Well,
Okay, you too.
yes. So,
Bye-bye.
bye. So you're working on this project,
Yeah.
you know, and you know, making the new tape. You're
Yeah.
doing the Anita Ray Lounge. That's every Friday night at what time?
Every Friday, doors open at 7:30. Show starts at 8, and it's only $10 if you call in advance or $15 at the door.
Yes.
And a portion of all the proceeds go to our Sizz Kids after-school program.
After school program.
Yes.
So if you want to support that, you're not doing anything, you're in the Inland Empire, San Bernardino, that area, Rialto, you can go attend the show. And if you really need to book someone, he's probably still have some dates open for Christmas.
About,
New
a couple
Year's,
days.
are you still open New Year's?
New Year's, we got I'm locked in New Year's. But
You're not locked in yet?
it depends on what time they're doing something. Just call me. We can work it
Yeah,
out.
so
we'll
go to
work it out.
CizzleC.com. And, I'm still open New Year's, but whatever happens. But thank you so much, guys, for listening. Thank you for being on
Thank
the
you for
show.
having
We're
me,
going
my
to
friend.
close with listening to some of your material. But before we do that, I just want you to know people in closing, this is. I would like you, if you enjoyed the show, if you're enjoying our podcast, I would love for you to go to your, just go to your social media and just, follow us on, Comedian Nazareth or Laughter for All, or you can go to any podcast, site where you can listen to it and just subscribe. And you need to laugh. Laugh more this Christmas. It's
Yes.
good for you. It's good for your health. So, just thank you so much for listening. This is our 16th week. I can't believe
Awesome.
it's been 16 weeks.
Congratulations. That's
So
good.
comedy, laughter is good. You're doing a banquet, you're doing an event, a fundraiser. A comedian is always a great addition because laughter opens pockets and people do give more when they laugh. That's proven. And it's memorable. People leave, if you're having a reunion with your family or stuff, sometimes if you got the money and it doesn't matter how many people. I've done shows for 4 people,
Yeah, me
and I've
too.
done shows for 40,000. Doesn't matter. So this is so thank you so much, guys, and thank you for listening. Next week we probably will be off because it's gonna be Christmas. Let me just check that with you real quick. Next today is the 16th. Oh, the 16th. No, we'll still have.
You're like
We'll have another episode on the 16th, and I'll let you know who my guest will be, and then the 23rd and the 30th. No, the 23rd we will be off. The 30th I'm gonna have Mrs. America, and she's going through cancer right now. I don't remember what year she was Mrs. America, but she's going through cancer. She's gonna come and talk about the fight. And this is a laughter for all, so we're gonna be funny, but at the same time we're real.
Right.
And then next in January we're gonna have Mr. One of the healthiest people. He won Mr. America for fitness. He's gonna talk. We're gonna have Josh McDowell come on the show and talk to you guys, and also we're gonna have what's her name? Oh shoot. Huffman Shaker she does makeup for the stars. So we're gonna have, I forgot her how can I forget her first name? And she's gonna be on the program. So thank you guys so much, and let's close the